Hi everybody, welcome back to the pottery. I'm sitting down today, so hopefully you can see me and you can see the model next to me, which is the Magnificent Marble Run. The reason I wanted you to see this now is because I want you to get an idea of what the kind of thing is that we're going to be making. So your challenge is to make a marble run, and I'd like you to do it using cardboard really. If you've got other junk modelling things at home you can use, that would be fine, but it can be more difficult to use things that are made of plastic. So you're going to need three things. You're going to need some materials to make your marble run, you're going to need some tools, and you're going to need a space to do it. Okay, so those are the three things you're going to need in order to do it. The challenge for the marble run is this. It needs to be strong enough so that you can play with it. It must work and it must look good. Okay, so with the marble run, what happens is we drop a marble in here, and I'll show you how it works in a minute. It runs down one tube, off the end, runs zigzags across the other way and back, and then out at the front. So I'll try and move the camera a bit closer. I'll take the sign off the front so you can see how it works. So here's the marble. I'm going to drop it into this tube here. It will follow down here. It'll come out of there and drop down into the next one, running along, dropping down into this one, and underneath here there's a hole to come through the tube and out through the gate at the end. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I didn't set the gate very well, but there we are. Let's try it one more time. Okay, so here's a list of the kind of things that you're going to need. A strong box, so this was a big box, some thinner cardboard, some paper, some pens, scissors, glue. I just used a glue stick, pencil, a ruler, some tape, ideally some sellotape and masking tape. You can have cream coloured tape or blue. I chose blue because I thought it would show up easier on the film, and some string. So they're the things you're going to need in order to make this. Now, in my house, we drink lots of this coffee, which comes in these cardboard tubes, which is ideal for making the different marble runs. But you might not have that, but you might have some other boxes. So something like this box, which I have my tea in. So you could cut this box up in order to make the different tubes. You don't have to make it the same size as me. It depends really on how big the box is that you've got. If you don't have any boxes, the other way of doing it is you can make your own little shoots yourself. So the way I did that was I took a piece of cardboard, I put the ruler along one edge and drew a line, then put the ruler next to that line and drew another one. So now I've got 3 lines. Holding the ruler along there, you can then fold the cardboard up on one side and the same on the other side. Now, it doesn't hold up like that, does it? So you need to have something to hold the sides up. So just some simple little bits of card that you can glue over the top, or not, rather than glue, use masking tape, and that can look really smart. So even if you haven't got any cardboard boxes you can use to make the shoots, this works really well. You might notice as well that I used half a cardboard tube, so you can use them as a loo roll here, or from the inside of a kitchen towel, or sometimes wrapping paper has a tube in the middle. They're really good, so you can cut down one side. So you could cut it in half, but the ball sometimes falls out. So I would just cut a little piece off like that. Nice straight line. So can you see, it's not cut in half. One has got higher sides than the other. This is the one that you want to use to roll the ball down. So if you're going to, you can see that if this was going to go down there, it might be fine. But if it was in this one, it would stay in much better. So different ways of making the shoots that the marble is going to roll down. Actually, something I haven't said to you is you're obviously going to need a marble. So the one I used over here, tiny marble. I also had a polystyrene ball. Let's put them in here. A bigger marble, smaller than the polystyrene ball, ping pong ball and a plastic ball. It's up to you. You can use whatever you've got. If you're really stuck and you can't find anything, you can scrunch up a bit of newspaper or tissue paper into a little ball and try and glue it together. But it's better if it's a marble. It's just a bit heavier and it seems to work a bit better. Okay, so let's take this apart now and I'll show you how I put it together. Here's the box. So 3 tubes. So what I did was I cut them so that I could thought they were in the right place. And I've just held them in place with a little bit of masking tape while I tested. This one I've covered in some paper and put a yellow arrow on it, only because I'd like you to see that that makes it look better than just the boring old box with the tape. But you must make sure that it works before you decorate it. So cut your tubes and then hold them in place with masking tape, test and test, and when you're happy, what I did was I drew a line underneath with a pen so I knew exactly where to fix it back in place, and then I've sellotaped it in here and in here. You will need, so there's a hole in the top here for the marble to go down and it shoots out the end here. You do then need to cut a hole in the top of the box here, or if you're using a shoot like that, that won't be a problem. You just go straight in and the ball goes straight down there, into here and straight down there. Now I'll just try and turn this, see if you, I don't know if you know, you're not going to be able to see. Underneath here, there's a hole. Can you see that at all on the camera? No, I don't think so. So I've cut a hole, so instead of the marble coming out of the end, it can come out of here. So when I have my cardboard tube, that can sit underneath there like that, and the marble drops into the tube and rolls out to the end. Notice that I've put a little bit of cardboard underneath just to here, just to lift it up a little bit so that there still is a slope. We do need to think about the force that is moving the marble. So gravity is pulling the marble from the top all the way down to the table. So if there's a slope going down, the marble will keep moving. If it goes up, it's not going to work. So try and make sure the lines keep going all the way down, okay? I then realised that the marble kept flying off the table. So I used the end of the box to make a little bit of a catch, if you like, and I sellotaped onto a piece of cardboard so I could just sit that underneath so when the marble hits it, it doesn't fly off anywhere. Thinking about the rainbows that we've been talking about all term. Actually, let me show you this side here. I cut a rainbow shape out of a piece of cardboard, traced around it and cut out a piece of paper, put the rainbow on it and little feet underneath so I can just trap it under there to hold it in place. So just to show you from a different angle, so here's the hole in the top where the marble goes in, rolls down here, comes out of there, and it's going to drop into this one. Now you might notice that the cardboard is still there, but the ball doesn't come out and drop straight down. It's going at a bit of speed, so it flies over and it drops into here. Okay, rolling down again, drops out of here into here, rolling down again, only a very short way in this tube. I could have stopped it here if I'd wanted to, and it comes out of there and down there. I hope that helps you see a bit better. So on all of them. Let's go back to thinking about the challenge. So the challenge is to make a marble run that is strong enough to play with, it must work and it must look good. So having thought about the structure and getting the angles just right so the ball will go down, how can you make it beautiful? Well, here's a simple way. I've got some coloured paper. All I've done is I've just put it inside like that. It's not quite big enough, so I could put some green on the top. I could change that and put the green on the edges and the red in the middle. I haven't glued it down or cut it, so I can still use it. let's find a little piece of blue paper, which I'd cut off from when I covered the box here. That just tucks underneath, makes it look cool. Here's my shoot that's going to go underneath there. I can't quite see. I think that's lined up. I can't quite see. I've talked to you already about the rainbow. And you will need to have something to catch the ball. You might make a net, you might make some kind of goal, I don't know. I always have so many amazing ideas, you always surprise me. The last thing that I thought about adding was some flags. What I did here was I had 2 thin bits of card, cut a little slot in the top, threaded the string through and sellotaped it on. These flags are bits of coloured tape just stuck over, and then the blue ones are longer bits of tape I've cut into a point. And then you could make a little pocket on the side just to put them in like that. This is a different way of making some flags. So 2 cocktail sticks and little bits of yellow card that I have cut into triangles and sellotaped on. With a cardboard box, you'll notice there are channels that go down, so you should be able to just poke the end of the cocktail stick or garden stick into it so that it will hold in place quite easily. The last thing that I did was I added a sign. The Magnificent Marble Run. So somewhere it would be good on yours. You could have it at an angle, however you want it, couldn't you? It doesn't have to be across the front. Oh, I know what I forgot. I made a sign that said go, just to go in the top here to show you where the beginning is. This work is going to take you quite a bit of time. It took me most of the morning. I'd like you to think about, first of all, the design and making it work and making it strong. That's the most important thing. When you're happy with that, the second thing is what you can do to make it look beautiful. So it's adding coloured paper, it could be pens. Depending on your cardboard, you could paint it if you've got some paint, but sometimes if you've got a shiny printed box, paint doesn't stick very well. So covering it with paper is always a great alternative. You might decide you're going to cut out shapes and stick them on, a little bit like if you think of the imagination station at school, we've got different circles and lines and triangles that make a pattern on there. You could decorate the inside of the marble run. As many things as you want to, really, to make it look as good as possible. So the first week of your work is going to be designing it and making it work. The second week is going to be making it look cool. Okay, so this is a project for 2 weeks. Message me if you've got any problems, and do send me your photos on Showbie. I love to see them. So